What's going on, guys? This is your boy DJ Fastnax here with another episode of TV Roundup. We're going to talk about a couple other things outside of TV as well today. But first up, we're going to talk about The Walking Dead, Dead City. This is episode 4, yeah, because I did episode 1, 2, and 3 on the last episode. So in this episode, we're doing episode 4. Pretty interesting episode. Starts off with the aftermath of Negan killing the guy with the friend of the group that they were with, because he was trying to kill him. Technically, he accidentally killed him. So it was interesting. I thought someone would found out faster than they did. Not just Maggie, but in general, just somebody just automatically would assume that it was him. But they let that go. And when you get to the end of the episode, you realize why it kind of didn't matter, especially at this moment in time. So, Negan's little girl found her way on this island. First of all, I'm still tripping on the fact that she jumped in a cooler, guys, and floated and used a pedal to roll all the way to New York City across the river. I'm just like, impossible, bruh. I don't care how small you is. The only thing I can think, maybe if you was a baby and you put the cooler in there and then you put the baby in. But someone that's over, let's say 50 pounds, let's even say 30 pounds, that cooler is sinking. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody say. But you know what? Whatever. We just gonna go with it, let it happen. She made it over there. She made it through all the zombies without even getting touched, without even getting heard, clearly because she doesn't talk. But, nothing happened. Where the first few minutes of Negan and them being there, zombies falling from the sky, all this stuff. But she found a way to make it to Maggie and them. So, the crazy part is, Maggie had the idea that the little girl was there because the other lady found her stuffed dinosaur. So that was like a clear sign that the girl was here. I don't understand why Maggie's taking her time to let it be known that maybe this girl is here or whatever. But it's whatever. Just let her have that. She didn't tell her, but I think the reason she did that was just to be spiteful to him. And then when she starts to tell him later on in the episode, and then she realizes that he killed the guy, she's like, well, I don't need to tell him nothing. I'm like, they kind of do. Maybe the things that played out in this episode probably would have played out just a little different. But it could have fixed it. But, yeah, so they go and they look for the missing friend. The group is looking, like, wondering where he is. And they kind of just... This is what kind of gets me. Like, he's supposed to be an important person of their group. And they just chalked it up to the fact that maybe he just didn't like the plan, so he ran away. They should have known something fishy was up. He's been with them the whole time. Now, why would he just leave now? He would have left when he voiced his opinion. He wouldn't have just left and not told nobody. He had friends there too. Yeah. So, it's so special. It was so special. And then, he didn't like the plan, so they kind of left. So now, look, this is the crazy part. The Croat, they had the plan to catch the Croat slipping. It was going to make a distraction, use Negan as the distraction to get him away, and then kind of trick the other guys and to get them in a certain area and beat them up. But what they didn't know, the Croat already had a plan, and he knew they was coming. So he set up where he got everybody out of the place, and he basically filled the whole room with zombies. So, like, and that was terrible. Like, when they got everybody in there, here you thinking you're gonna be involved and like all these other people. They just introduced the lady who got the dinosaur, and she just died. No help. That was so funny because when she got, she was like, "Hey, help me!" Everybody like, "I don't know you. I don't know who you are." And they kind of just walked off. And as a person who's a viewer who's watching it, I felt the same way. Like, I really don't know you, so bye bye. It's good that you came and you left or whatever. Not my fault. And but then when he heard the whistle from Negan, he was excited, and so that was kind of confusing for me because even with what they said, even what he said earlier in the season, I thought he still had like, I think he was more excited to get revenge than what it actually showed that he wanted him to join. So that was kind of a twist, a good twist, I would say. It was a good twist, but yeah, he was like looking for Negan. He was like, oh my god, Negan's here, blah blah blah. Let me find him, talk to him, and so the fact that the guy who got in the car when Negan was in that car did not hear him get out of the car, which is crazy on his own. But yeah, so basically, like he's like I say, he set everybody up. He hears Negan, he follows Negan, he tells all the rest of his people to leave, and so they all get in the car. But he has 3 guys stay behind so they can search for Negan. Finds Negan, brings the sheriff out, thinking that Negan's gonna Negan's gonna be happy that he's gonna kill the sheriff, so they can be friends. Use the sheriff as a way of good faith. But Negan messed his mind up because instead of letting the guy die, he went to save the guy. The Croat didn't understand, but we've been around Negan through all through Walking Dead show, so we knew at some point in his life he's changed. We know when, but just saying, he changed. So he wasn't gonna let the guy die. So he saves the guy. The guy gets hit with their little tools they have, where they basically is like Scorpion. They can shoot it. It's like a little arrow, shoots it to your leg or whatever, and they can drag you back. The fact that the dude pulled that out and he was still able to walk a little bit is crazy to me, because I don't know, man. Pull a big old arrow out my skin, I ain't gonna be able to walk like that. But yeah, so he goes to try to kill him. He saves him, and then him and that guy, the sheriff, gets out. Correct is still following and trying to find out what's going on. Why did Negan leave? Why is Negan doing this? So then we go back to the middle of the stadium, because that's where all the group gets piled in with the zombies. And like I said, everybody in this group except 3 people. Hold on, let me make sure. No, 2 people. And then you got Maggie, and then you got the little girl. Because when Maggie was in the car, the little girl shows up, and she goes to search and get the girl. That's why Maggie was inside the thing. She wasn't supposed to be in there. Boo, boo, boo. I feel like that was like kind of stupid, the fact to make her go back in there. But they all got caught, like I said, and everybody in the team just got killed one by one, one by one, one by one. And even the guy, I forget his name, he got caught. So I was like, well, he was just crying about his grandma or whoever she was. Now he dead. But then he gets out. I think for the next episode they're gonna show us that he got bit, because right now he's just trying to help everybody. Because he shows back up after he gets attacked with all the zombies, and then at the last minute he comes and helps them. But I'm skipping ahead. So they're in the little stadium, and they go into the ring, which is like an octagon, the UFC ring. And so they go in there and they lock themselves in there so the zombies can't get them. The reason they go in there is because Maggie was about to dip. Maggie was about to get the hell up out of there. She didn't care about nobody else. And then she looked back and realized that she said, oh shoot, the little girl is still around. And for some reason she had a feeling that the little girl's behind her. She looked back and the little girl's actually in the octagon with the door locked. Well, with the door closed, not locked. So then she gets everybody to try to go into the octagon. Everybody makes it in there except that guy, because I told you they thought he was dead. So, and the lady, and the crazy lady too, because she died after this. So she goes, and they're doing what they did at like all the places that they lived throughout the Walking Dead series, where they're behind a gate and they have a whole bunch of zombies. They just start killing them through the gate, whatever. And so they do this whole thing, and then Maggie realized, oh shoot, you know what? We gonna die if we stay here. And then she sees the guardrails, and she's like, hey, take the guardrails, and we just gonna walk ourselves out of here. So everybody's like, cool, whatever. So they take him and they start to walk out. This is where the lady dies. It was so funny. It's like everybody's bouncing these zombies off and getting past them. And then one lady, the little straggler, she got. And she's like, hey guys, help me. And everybody just kept moving. Like, they didn't even look back. Like, they just kept moving. I was like, well, she dead now. So they go out, and then at the last minute, they was going to need help, and the guy shows up, and you're like, oh, he's not dead now. So then they run down, and they get into this little boiler room area with, like, there was no way out of it, and the zombies were following them. So, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, basically after that, they get in there and they realize there's only one way out. And earlier in the show, they talk about, like, you see the sewer waters and you see it's like kind of boiling up, and it's like, it looks like it's a whole bunch of gases coming out of it. And they were saying that's the methane from, dying people and just sewage in general, because they ain't been changed. It's just been sitting there for years. So that was kind of the thing, saying it's going to be too dangerous to go through the sewers with the walkers, and on top of just the gas, and then you're not going to be able to breathe. So when they get into this little area, the only way out is through the sewer, and they decide to take that chance to go into the sewer. So the way the show ends, well, one of the ways the show ends on their part is they show everybody walking down into the sewer, and they're looking up like they're looking at Jesus, but each person is looking at the next person who's coming down. And then you see Maggie, little girl look at Maggie, and Maggie tells little girl, just go, we got you. And then Maggie looks up like she's looking at the God. And then it kind of cuts. But before that, we get to the part where Negan finally gets away from the Croat, and he's with the sheriff, and they get into this place and they hide out. And he puts the gun down and tells the sheriff, okay, cool, we safe. And he looks out the window and he turns back around. Tell me why the sheriff's still trying to arrest him. After saving his life and everything, the sheriff is still trying to arrest him. I'm just like, this guy's going to... This stuff, that's the stuff in Walking Dead that get you killed. You ain't finna go out with no good deaths. You just gonna die. You got a wife and kids, bro. You need to change something up. Whatever. So I'm pretty sure they haven't said anything about it being a season 2 or anything like that. I mean, I could kind of see where they could make it a season 2, but here's the thing that's killing me. The whole point of them going into there to mess with the Croat is to save Maggie's son. But we ain't seen that man this whole episode. So we don't know if he's still alive or what. So that's going to be the mystery right there. Because now they done went to the place and the Croat is gone. So now you got to find out how they going to find the son. We'll see. Hopefully they might show something next week. I think, what is this? That was episode 4. I think we might have 4 more episodes or 3 more episodes. I'm not sure exactly how many episodes. I know it's a short season. So, let's see where they go. And, we'll talk about it. Probably do another TV roundup and put that episode in. Depending on how big. If it's a big episode, I might give it its own episode. Well, if it's a good episode that happens, I might give it its own review episode video. Maybe not. Not sure. But let's move on to the next one. My Adventures with Superman. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard the announcement for this show, this cartoon, I didn't think much of it. I didn't think I even wanted to watch it. But lately, over the last few years, I've actually been trying to consume almost all comic book, just the cartoons, the movies, the shows, all that stuff, trying to get all that content and just watch it, just consume it. Because, I like comic books. And, I like the cartoon side of it. I like movies and all that good stuff. So I've been consuming a lot of the stuff. So I was like, well, if I'm going to be considered myself that type of person, I need to go ahead and at least give this a try from the first half. So they dropped the first 2 episodes earlier in the week. I think last week sometime. And so I watched them. I actually liked the first 2 episodes of the show so far. What they did is set up pretty good. The animation reminds me of Boondocks. Straight up, it does. Reminds me of straight up Boondocks. I was like, wow. It makes me wonder. I need to probably look into it and see if any of the same animators was on this show. I mean, I'm not going to say it could be a strong possibility, but it might not be. It is also a new take on Superman and Clark Kent and Lois and Jimmy. Great takes. Jimmy is right. He's a little bit too enthusiastic, but when you look at old school Jimmy, when you look at modern day Jimmy, when you look at like Jimmy, grown up Jimmy, he kind of falls into those aspects. Even the grown up Jimmy, where he has more sense, but he's still kind of excited about stuff. Lois, I like that she is still technically Lois, where she's pushy and she likes to get the thing done. It doesn't quite make sense because it seems like in all mediums with Lois, it was the job that made her that way. Like, she was already a little pushy, but the job pushed it to the point to where she has to be this type of character. And so for the fact that we started all three of them off in the beginning of their careers as journalists and stuff like that, is, like I said, it's a cool take. And so I want to see where they're going to go with it. I am kind of upset that they're already pushing them into being, a love interest between both of them already. We know that's where they're going to end. Let's just kind of let that brew and let the show be something else. You know what I'm saying? It's not make it a teen angst type of show. We already had that with Smallville. But, they probably, because it's a cartoon, they're probably going to stick with that. The changing in his origins, which I would say there are changes in his origin, but it's not. Yes, we all know Superman. Planet blew up, mom and dad put him in a spaceship and threw him off. Which is what I would consider changes of the origin is when he got to Earth. Him learning out that he's an alien when he's way younger. Him finding out, like us seeing the spaceship that he came in, the area is so big that the spaceship came. And I'm like, first of all, how ain't nobody on Earth see this thing fall? And so even when they go back to the actual origin and you see him going to that ship and he's flying off, the ship is small. So I'm like, how did he get so big on Earth? So I'm thinking they're going to use that as his Fortress of Solitude, but I wonder if it's going to stay on the farm or if they're going to move it. So like I said, I would consider that a new change in his origins. The fact that his dad looks like Odin. Why does his dad look like Odin? Got the eye patch and everything. I'm like, wow, that's a new take on Jor-El. But it's cool. And, the fact that they actually use the different language, because that's always been a thing in like the movies where it's just like no matter what, everybody speaks English, so we just going to ignore the fact that maybe they might speak another language on Krypton. Now we just gonna go with the fact that they speak English too, and just kind of ignore it. So I kind of went with the fact that they embraced that part of it. So when he was older and he was helping them out and he was fighting the crime and stuff like that, he had super speed, he could fly, all this stuff, up until the point where he had to use that last ditch effort to save Lois and them, it was crazy to me because they gave him this Sailor Moon Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon Power Rangers power up when he got his suit, and they gave him this Dragon Ball Z charging up his power when he changed to when the power finally came to him and he was able to move faster than he was before. So I was like, oh, okay, so they're gonna try to do this anime style a little bit, even though it's still, you can tell this is American art. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Also, it was kind of cool. I did not think old girl was gonna be a actual villain, like a comic book villain, and the fact that she shows up to be Livewire is pretty cool. I wish that she would have used her powers throughout both episodes, but I mean the reveal of her getting pissed and wanting to go after the guy who she thought brought Superman to her and was trying to track her down and stuff, that was pretty cool. Why did they make Clark mom? I want to say I think this is an adult joke that they kind of slid into the show. But why did they make Clark mom decide, hey, you need something else on this suit that came on him like a Power Ranger suit? Because it wasn't good enough. So she gave him underwear and a belt. I'm like, that is the classic Superman look, so I can't be mad about that. But why did they go into detail about that? Like, what did she realize that? What happened that made her realize you might need some underwear or some boxers or some shorts to go on top of this? And that's why I think it was probably like a slid in underhand adult joke. Usually when you see Superman, he fights somebody and he goes all out and it's destruction and everywhere. You usually don't. You never find out like the aftermath, what happens after the fact. Like sometimes Superman might help people out of a fallen building and stuff like that after the initial threat is over. But I've never seen Superman just say, you know what, I'm done with my toys, let me clean up after myself. And that was kind of interesting how they did that. They added that to the character. So let's go to this ending. Let's go to the ending. When they actually, because the whole point of Lois and Jimmy and Clark on the human side of it was they were trying to become, they're interns for the Daily Planet. So they were trying to become reporters and stuff. So that's already a new thing. I mean, they kind of did that in, yeah, they did do that in Smallville. But like as far as cartoon wise, they showed them where they're trying to be, reporters. And one of the things which was kind of messed up is at the end, they did give not messed up. They gave a little shout out at the end, but it was messed up because it was their article. It was their story, but he took their pictures and gave it to somebody else to write it. And one of the throwouts they did in there was Cat Graham. And I was like, I'm sorry, Cat Grant, not Graham. Cat Grant. They gave their little shout out. That's a nice throwback to a lot of Superman things, especially Supergirl. I know she's a staple in the comics in some ways. And a couple of other Superman mediums where they talk about her, they just kind of talk about her in just going. I know comic books, they actually did something with her. So the ending, the fact that you get Amanda Waller and that throwout of the Suicide Squad with old boy saying Nemesis, Omega Task Force X. I'm sorry, Nemesis Omega, and then Task Force X, and then 0 Day. I looked up all this stuff now. Nemesis Omega, it came up with a whole bunch of different things. Came up with the character named Omega, came up with the character named Nemesis. So I don't know what that means, but we all know what Task Force X is. That's Suicide Squad. And the fact that they showed Amanda Waller in the beginning was pretty cool. Up in the first 2 episodes. 0 Day, again, I looked it up, couldn't really find much of anything. So I know some way, form, or fashion that has something to do with comic books. Those are comic book throwouts. But looking it up, I just couldn't find nothing. So maybe I just didn't look hard enough. Hopefully they'll explain it later on in later episodes, and that'd be pretty cool. And then the fact that they was like, tell us about the Flying Man. Let me know everything you know about Superman. And, that was pretty cool. Just the battles that they actually have him doing in his first, what you would consider his first outing as Superman, was pretty dope. Even with him in the outfit from the miners. Was it the miners? Yeah, or the oil rig people. Him in that was a pretty good battle. And it was good to show you that he was exhausted, but then he snapped. Like I said, that was a Dragon Ball Z. That was right when Goku was getting ready to turn Super Saiyan kind of mode to me. That's what it felt like to me. And even when he got the suit and he was kind of like, he understood what the hell was going on. He wasn't scared. He wasn't, off. He knew he needed to handle some stuff, and he actually did pretty good. I actually enjoyed that whole part of the thing. So I'm excited for episode 3. That's coming out in a couple of days, if not a day or so. So I might talk about that one on the next. I'm going to probably talk about that one in the next TV roundup. But yeah, this show, nice start for me at least. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it's a nice start. Let's see. So I got a couple little news reports real quick that I'm gonna put at the end of this episode. The crazy part is how you get the set photos from Deadpool 3 with Hugh Jackman in that Wolverine costume. I like it. It looks good. It's not like the original 1990s cartoon thing, but it is reminiscent of it. And then I think it's the later, I want to say it's the newest run of one of the X-Men comic books that they're basing that costume off of. I wonder if they're gonna give him a mask. You already know how people do with masks and helmets when it comes down to the Marvel characters. They're gonna wear it once or twice, and then they're just gonna take it off because somebody maybe knocked it off or they forgot it. Or they got in the middle of a battle, like the battle starts before they could put it on and all type of stuff like that. You know, they always find some type of way to make sure the helmet stays off. Or the mask, if you want to say. So, I wonder if they're going to give him one. I'm not going to lie, Hugh Jackman looks good. I know a lot of people was kind of mad because he didn't have his sleeves, uncovered, but I mean, that was kind of one of the reasons why Hugh Jackman decided not to want to play Wolverine no more initially, is because how Jackie had to get, and the whole thing he had to do to get everything ready. So maybe that could be a reason to show that he's still Hugh Jackman who could play Wolverine, but he's not as jacked as he was back then because he's getting older. But I may be wrong on that one. Nice photos. Can't wait to see what this movie does. Speaking of Deadpool 3, they also let us know that Jennifer Garner is coming back as a lecturer. That's pretty dope. They already told us that Matt Damon was coming back as Daredevil, so I wonder if they're going to just do a little tie-in with them real quick. It's probably going to be something short and funny because these stories always come out big when we first hear them, but when you see the end product, it wasn't even as big as it was. Just like we knew, like, I heard rumblings about old boy being in Flash, like, all the different Superman and all that stuff, but the way things were happening, everybody was assuming that it was going to be bigger roles or bigger situations, but then you come to find out that it was just some short little cameo. So I'm like, I'm cool with the short cameo. I don't have no problem. I wasn't like, oh, we really need to have anything bigger than that, but it is dope to throw that cameo in there. So I feel the same way with these Jennifer Garner and Matt Damon. I'm gonna keep saying Matt Damon. Oh my god, not Matt Damon. The other one. I cannot believe I said Matt Damon. Why did I say Matt Damon? Oh my god, man. Look, y'all, I'm tripping, okay? I'm tripping. But yes, they're going to be in the Deadpool 3 movie. Yeah, it's just so crazy. Like, you got Ben and you got Gardner coming back. So just wonder how that's going to play out. They were together at one point, and so we're just gonna see how that goes. So yeah, those two people are coming back. That's the Deadpool stuff. I'm pretty sure in the next few weeks we're gonna get some more set photos and just more information about this prior to it coming out. I think we got a couple more. Next year? I think it's coming out. Either next year or the year after. I can't remember exactly. They keep moving the schedule around. Last piece of news. So we just got our Superman casting and Lois Lane casting for the Superman Legacy show. Well, they just announced 3 more actors to play 3 new superheroes in this movie. First up, we have Adi Gatigi. I think that's how you say his name. He's playing Mr. Terrific. I'm glad this man is going to see some type of shine in a movie and not just a cartoon or a TV show. I don't know what he's going to do, because they probably going to just have his T-Spears and just kind of keep it as simple as that. There's no telling. But the guy who's playing him, like I said, Adi Gatigi, I think that's how you say it. He played the character Darwin in X-Men First Class, and hopefully he gets more screen time in this movie than he did in that one, because he literally showed up and kind of died before he could really even use his powers. So let's hope for the best and he gets a little bit more going on. So the next person is Isabelle Merced, and she's going to play Hawk Girl. So that's pretty cool. That's another character that I'm glad that's actually going to finally get their movie, movie debut. They've already been in live action before, But as far as hot girl being in a movie, this will be the first time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pretty sure this is the first time. This chick, she's in she's gonna be in the Madam Web movie that's coming out soon. So let's see how she is in that, and that'll kind of tell us exactly how she may play the role, or just see if she's a good actress in as well. I'm not sure if she's been in anything else prior to that, but I know for a fact she's gonna be in Madam Web. And then here's the biggest one, Nathan Fillion. And the fact of who he's playing, which at first listening to it, I wouldn't be like, no, he's not playing that. He can't be that character. But then when you actually look at his face and start adding those characteristics to him, you're like, oh my God, he could literally play that character. And the fact that, everybody in the comic book fandom, and just fandom in any way, form, or fashion, they love this guy. Video game, comic books, movies, just anything. Like, everybody wants him to play somebody. So the fact that he's actually going to be in this, and we're going to get our first the new DC first Green Lantern as Guy Gardner. Out of all the Green Lanterns, that Green Lantern is crazy. The fact that we getting that Green Lantern and it's played by Nathan Fillion, that's going to be stupid crazy. And if they give him like more than what he's done in the last couple of roles in this movie, we're going to love it. We're going to want him to be, that Green Lantern, to be around in almost all the movies that's coming out after Superman Legacy. You know what I'm saying? So, that's a pretty stacked cast already. Like I said, we got our Superman, we got our Lois. Now we have a Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, and we have Hawk Girl and Mr. Terrific. Who do y'all think they're going to cast next? Are you think they're going to put any more heroes in this movie? I'm wondering they are. I'm pretty sure they're going to probably put somebody else. I know last thing I heard before this was they were thinking about casting Lex Luthor and it, I forget the name of the group of guys, the brothers. I forget their names. But yeah, they were looking at them to play, see if they want to be one of those guys to play Lex Luthor. So that's probably going to be the next casting, maybe. Because they might skip ahead and do another casting like he just did with this. But yeah, other than that, guys, I want to thank you guys for sitting here and listening to me talk TV and news on my channel on this video right now. Make sure you subscribe, follow my YouTube page, which is DJ Fastneck, Snack Blocks and Reviews, and just follow me on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. It's all DJ Fastneck. Make sure you check me out. If you have any questions, any concerns, any ideas of what you think maybe going to be the next casting, or how did you like the shows that I talked about tonight, you can put them down in the comments. And until next time, guys, I'll see you soon.